Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're talking about which is the first Wayfinder you should pick. And this might be a confusing video or it might be an eye-awakening video. So let's go ahead and jump into it. One of the things when it comes to picking your first Wayfinder is knowing what options you have available, and that's really going to be based upon what founders pack you decide to buy, which we'll jump into a little later. But looking at the website where it talks about the Wayfinders, and we have it on Silo here right now, we're going to just kind of go over this particular page, and from this page I'm going to be able to tell you which Wayfinder might be better suited for you. So you'll understand when we get through it. So first off, it talks about complexity. How do we know if this is the right amount of complexity for you? We don't. This could be harder, this could be easier. So we have to throw this one out the window and not pay attention to complexity. Second, we look at this chart where it's like ranged, support, control. Some of that's kind of true. And what we can determine with it being super true is by looking at the abilities. And that's what you really want to focus on when picking your first Wayfinder, is what abilities do you want to use? Because the abilities are really what determine what that Wayfinder, what that character is all about. Now, Silo here has a lot of crowd control abilities. He puts dots on enemies, and he also has a off tank, like a taunt ability right here called Protoclone, which taunts enemies away from you. Some people might just put him into that ranger category, but because his abilities and his kit is the way it is, you can do so much more with it. For example, with that taunt, with this slow ability, with this passive that does more damage to enemies that have debuffs on them, that means if you give him a sword and a shield, because all characters can use all weapons, then he becomes a tank with an ability to off tank, and he's also doing some extra damage and CCing enemies. If you put him with some daggers on, say you have poison daggers, you're poisoning enemies, you're slowing enemies, you're putting the fire dot on them, you're doing extra damage because they're debuffed. So now you become like a little subtlety rogue with some traps, and when it gets too hot, you can throw down that taunt. So this is what I mean by saying it's up to the abilities, because you have options based on your particular playstyle, which way you want to go. With that said, there are some Wayfinders that fit better in certain areas than other areas. Before we jump into that, I want you to know that if you just got the basic pack, you'll only be able to pick from the first three that you get, which is going to be Silo, Nis, and Wingrave. Now if you get like the Initiate pack, you can pick one more, so you can have two unlocked, and it goes on from there because you get the tokens, and the tokens will allow you to unlock more Wayfinders. Now when you go into the next pack, the Awakened pack, you'll get Venomous unlocked, and then if you get the Exalted pack, you'll also have Kairos unlocked, plus 3 tokens. So you'll be able to unlock all of them depending on where you are in there. You'll be able to have 1, 2, 3. But when you're in the basic pack, you're just putting the $20 down, you'll only be able to unlock the one Wayfinder off the rip, and the other ones will be locked. So you have to decide which one you want to be from there. So I'm going to give you the real quick and dirty way to pick what you want to do as a Wayfinder, what characters you want to play as, which ones you want to look at. So if you want to throw out some heals, you're going to want to pick Wingrave and Venomous. Those are going to be like your two ones that can heal other players and heal themselves with their ability kit. If you want to be more defensive, like a tank type character with their ability kit, you're going to want to pick Wingrave, Senja, and maybe even Silo with the thing that I told you right now. If you want more dots and debuffs, you're going to want to pick Venomous, or you're going to pick Silo. If you want to be that crowd control, throwing out dots, throwing out some debuffs, those are the people that you want to get. And if you just want to be pure attack, burn things down, burst damage type person, maybe you take a little more damage sometimes depending on how you raise your stats up, maybe you don't, but your kit is going to allow you to do damage and not really focus on anything else. Then you're going to want to be Kairos and Nis. So this is how you want to pick these characters to play as. Don't focus on the complexity, don't focus on what weapon they use, because they can use any weapon, and don't focus on this little graph they have on the screen. That just kind of gives you a basic general idea of how the character would normally play with their signature weapon and kit, like how they designed the character. But you can take that character a little bit further with the different builds and kits they have in the game. So something to think about. not giving you the direct answer, but I am at the same time. So hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Wayfinder content. We'll have a bunch of videos coming out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.